Hi and welcome back for another video. In this video, I am giving you tips and tricks for Lenovo K6 Power. So here the smartphone is there, and then now I'm going to start with those tips and tricks for which I do not have to fiddle with the settings of the smartphone. So the very first thing that I can remember of is the VR mode. With VR mode, you can have the experience and feel of watching a video or a movie in theater. But that happens when you are actually watching it on the smartphone. So what it does is that you require a headset. What it does is that it enables the feel where the small screen looks larger by splitting a screen for each eye. So let's see how it's done. So press the power button, and after you press and hold the power button, you get these three options. One is will be off, power off, restart, and VR mode. Enable this VR mode. Just select that, and just after you select that, you get this split screen. When you put that into the headset, each eye picks up one screen, and that gives you the experience of watching the video in the theater. Now I am going to disable this and move to the next tip and trick. The next tip is to free the RAM. How do you do that? Well, you double tap on this option. As soon as you double tap on the option, you can see that there are many apps open. Now you want to free the RAM on the smartphone. All you have to do is press on this broomstick, and as soon as you press on this broomstick, a lot of RAM is freed, and you have seen just now that a lot of RAM was freed. The next feature is of pinning the recent app. How do you do that? Well, double tap. After you double tap, you can see that the lock option is provided here. When you press this lock option, the recent app gets pinned. So when you free the RAM, that app does not close. You do this when you are using an app which you require to quickly access, and it should be from the same place you have left. If you want to do that, well, you just have to pin the app. You just have to lock the app. So now I'm going to lock the Adobe Acrobat Reader, and then I'm going to lock the UC browser. So now when I free this RAM, you can see that these two apps will not close and they will remain there. Now if I have to disable this feature, all I have to do is tap on the lock, and then the lock will open, and when you free the RAM next time, these apps will also disappear. So that is one tip. The next tip that we are going to see is of changing the default launcher. Lenovo comes with two launchers. One launcher is stock launcher, and the other launcher is the Vibe UI launcher. Most of the smartphones, when they change the UI, they don't provide the stock Android experience, but in this case Lenovo is providing stock Android experience also. But the moment you open the smartphone, the moment you start using the smartphone, the first the UI that you are greeted with is the stock Android UI. If you want to change that, you can change it to Lenovo UI, or you want to come back to the Android stock Android UI, you can do even that. All you have to do is press and hold this option, and after you do that, you have preference options. In preference option, you can go to default launcher. As you can see, the default launcher right now is Android. If you change select Vibe UI, the UI will change. I'm not going to do that because that takes time. So if you select Vibe UI, it will switch to Vibe UI. If you select Android, it will switch to Android. Right now it is on the Android. So this is a tip to change the UI of the Lenovo K6 Power. In the next tip, we'll see how to change the transition in the smartphone, and I have shown you already, we have seen that we can change the UI. Now let us see how to change the transition. Just like that, press the same option over here, this one, and then go to preference. After you go to preference, you have home screen settings here. Go to home screen setting, then you can select the transmission transition animation, and whatever you select, that will be your default transition. Then usually I like no transition, but if you want to have a transition while toggling between the screen, then this is the best option that is available for you. In this let's next step, let us see how to change the appearance of lock screen. For that, you have to go to theme center, and after you go to theme center, you have to select this option with the lock. It's the symbol over there, it's in the second from the left side. Now you have to select a particular type, like here I'll select the classic one. After I select the classic one, I have to hit the apply. After I hit the apply, it gets applied, and now your lock screen now this will be your lock screen. Let us see the lock screen by using the power button. So here you can see that this has successfully become my lock screen, and this is how it can be done. And in next step, we'll see how to change the wallpaper, the basic the outer appearance that you see when you open the lock screen. Now it is done with this one. So you can see that there were various options over here, and here you can see that the hot move is selected just like the previous one. Now I'm going to switch to the classic one. So when you do that, not only the background changes, but also the icons also change quite a bit. And like theme center, the way the theme center looks also changes. So you can see now that these things have changed, the icons have changed a bit, and now this is a complete different theme. Now we can move, and then we can see the various other options. So let it this be like this only. We'll see some other options. Let's go to the theme center itself and see the next thing that is available with us. Now I'm going to tell you how to change the appearance of the call screen. So now here you can see a phone symbol is there. Now select the phone symbol. After you select the phone symbol, you can see that there are two options that they have provided. This one is default. Now next thing is wave, and it is the first thing. Now what you can do is you can change it, and when you change it, whenever you receive a call, this type of screen will be available for now, from now on. So now whenever I receive a call, this will be there. So now I can change that. I'll change that back because the original one was very good. So now I am on the default mode. Now whenever I receive the call, the default will be applicable. Now in the next step, let us see how to change the appearance of the dialer. First go to the theme center like always, and now here you can see that you have an option in the last available to you. In the last option, what you do is you have two options available for you. Only two themes are available for dialer. You select any of these two themes, whichever you like. You have one that is default, you have the second one that is of coffee color. So now if you select the coffee color, your dialer now becomes this one. So now you have a change in color. I want to stick with the old one, so I'm not going to do that, but if you want to do that, just select it and press apply button. After you press the apply button, your dialer becomes different. Your dialer becomes something like this, and they have shown everything in these screenshots over here, and yeah, you can change it like that. So now let us see the next thing, and the next thing is recent screen. In we can, with theme center, we can change how this recent screen looks like. So now I'll show you that also. First you have to double press the recent screen option. So you can see that we have it something like this. That means from top to down we go. Now if you want to change the way you handle the recent screen, then what you do is go to the theme center. In theme center, you use the second from the last option, and then you change the way. Now now let us select this one. If you select this one, now the way you use the recent screen option changes completely. Let us try that also. See, things have changed here. Now you can the this is the way I have used, and now this is the way they are going to move. The next tip is about the usage of RAM. You can check how much RAM was consumed by your smartphone at what time. So for that you have to go to this memory option. After you go to the memory option, you can see the performance here. This smartphone has 3 GB of RAM, and you can see how much is free and how much is utilized. Now you can see average memory that is in use is 0.92 GB and the free is 1.9 GB. So this way you can check how much of RAM is free, how much RAM is not free. So this is one tip, and this figure is for last 3 hours. You can change that also, and you can do select for all day, and you can see for in a complete day only 1 GB came in use and 1.8 GB was always free. The next tip is about the battery. Now using this option you can save the amount of battery that you use by limiting the apps that are running in the background. Now if you limit that, then you will get an extra battery backup, especially when you are traveling or in emergency situation. So now you have two ways to enable this. One you do is that you use the drop down menu. In drop down menu you can see that you have super powered saver option. You just select that. After you select, you get a super power saver option. Now in super power saver option you have only few things available. What are those things available? Now those things are only limited amount of things. The next tip is about the power saver. When in emergency or when in traveling you need extra battery backup, and at that time you have to do some saving. With the use of these options you can do that savings. Now in settings you have to go to the power manager. After you go to the power manager, you can see that there is a battery saver option. Select that battery saver option and enable that. Now when you enable that, the background apps will get limited and the battery will last longer. Most of the times the amount of battery backup that you are gonna get is increased by almost 6 hours or 7 hours, but it still depends. Everything else works, just the apps does not work in the background. So that is one thing here. So I am going to take it back and show you how to see the amount of power that was consumed. So in the settings and power manager you have power consumption details. In power consumption details you can see how much of battery was consumed by software and how much battery was consumed by hardware, and what kind of app consumed the maximum amount of battery. Here you can see that camera and Geekbench 4 have consumed the maximum amount of battery, and if you can see the bottom down, then you can see that the all apps have consumed some amount of power. Assassin's Creed has consumed some, D-Day has consumed some. The maximum was consumed by the camera, because of course the camera was in use a lot of time, and on standby you can see that 5 hours were there. On standby it lasted for 5 hours and 23 minutes, and in use it's since for 5 hours only. That means the smartphone was in standby for very less time. So now let us see one more option, and that option is of battery optimization. Now in this case if you want to optimize the battery, you have to go to the settings and power manager. That is, you have to come to this screen only. In battery optimization you can optimize what apps can use maximum amount of battery. So now let us go for all apps, and in this case let us select the Assassin's Creed. In Assassin's Creed you can say that recommend for you have two options. One option is optimize and other option is don't optimize. If you optimize, that app is going to use less battery. That means if it's not in use, it's not going to run. And if you don't optimize it for battery, it is going to give you performance, but the battery is going to drain very fast, and it has been mentioned here. Now it is always very good idea to enable this, and in fact by default I think all the apps have this enabled, that is optimizing battery use is enabled, and by default it is available. If you want that particular app to use extra memory, then you can just go ahead and use that. Go ahead and unoptimize it, and that will make it give you the maximum performance, but still it is a wonderful option available to you. Now you also have ultra power saver. In ultra power saver, what you get is that you get only a black screen, you get only a limited screen which completely disables other usage. This phone will now only be available for making calls or seeing contacts or messages, and it will run it will like have a marathon run, and almost 42 hours will be available with just 50% of battery. As you can see, I only have 50% of battery left with me, and it's not clearly visible. Yes, exactly. I have 50% of battery left in the smartphone. So now let us move to the next best tip on this smartphone. Yes, you can also add other apps, like you can add browser, but adding browser means that still you are going back to square zero because battery consumes a lot of power, but still you can add a browser, and you can eliminate everything else. You have the option for adding three more things. Now let us disable this one and go to something else. In this next feature, let us see how to quickly snap a photo. See, this is a very important option. Now when you need a photograph urgently, and then it is a lot of cumbersome to start the press the power button, then start the phone, and then start the camera, you can take instant photograph instantly by using this option. And what option is that? Well, you have to go to the settings. For that, after you go to the settings, you have to go to the feature option. After you go to feature option, you have to enable this. Now the quick snap is already enabled. See, the quick snap is already enabled. Now I'm going to take a photograph. After I take a photograph, you can clearly see that this can be done. All you have to do is double tap. See, the photograph is taken. Many people these days are not carrying their watches, and seeing time, for seeing time you need watch, and that can be done with the smartphone, but for that you have to press the power button, and then you can see the time. Now for that, there is a quick tip here. For that, what you can do is you can double tap the screen, and the screen will turn on. Instead of using power button, you can just by double tapping on the screen, you can see the time and then close it, and it will automatically shut down. But how to do this? Well, go to the settings. In settings, go to feature option. After feature option, you can see that in feature option you have knock to line. You have to turn this on. You have to turn this on. After you turn this on, you can double tap, and after double tapping, the smartphone screen will light up, and that will show you time. It's a good option to have. I'll keep it enabled. The next tip that I'm going to give you right now is one of the most important tip to use. Now in order to explain, I'll use a criteria. Say you are a college student and you go to college regularly, and actually everyone does. You have to maintain the attendance in the college. So now you go to college, and in college you are not allowed to take the smartphone. So what you do is you carry the smartphone, but you keep it silent so that it does not disturb you at the time of the lecture. So what you do is you silent the smartphone manually, and when the interval comes, you manually turn the volume up, and then when the interval ends and the evening session start, you manually turn the volume down. But if you use the smart scene mode, you can definitely get rid of all that effort that you do. By the time class starts, the scene will make the smartphone go silent, and it will make it in the do not disturb mode. You can enable the vibration mode and all that if and when required. It's all in the settings. It's available in the settings. Now after you use that, when the interval comes, it will automatically the volume will rise, and if a friend calls you at the time of interval, you can pick it up and answer him. Now if the interval ends and you forget to turn the volume down, it will automatically turn itself down and put it on the vibrate mode. And it's a cool feature. For that, you have to go to the smart screen, and in smart screen you have to press this plus icon. After you press this plus icon, you can see that you have a lot of options available. For every kind of work you have an option available. There is a preset available now, but if you want a custom scene, you can use a custom scene. I would always prefer to go for a custom scene, and then use the timed switch, and then hit the next option. In the next option you can select the time when you want it to switch. Now you can add a lot of scenes into this, like if now you can see the timed switch. You can just start scene, scene end time, and timed switch frequency. Now if you use that, it will happen every day, and if you make it for one day, it will happen for one day only. So it is useful for office persons or who have meeting and all that. If you are going to college, then every day you can use that. You can add multiple scenes where it will get where it will have a start time, like say you have class 9 to 12, or select one scene 9 to 12. It will the volume will come up automatically at 12, and then you have another class starting from the evening section starts from 1 to 5. Then the second scene will enable that option for you. Now let's go to the next step. The drag down menu is enough to quickly access all the application. In fact, the drop menu is also more than enough to use all the application. But if you want a floating icon on the screen that enables you to use the important apps that you use every day, then there is an option, there is a settings to do that. First you have to go to the settings, and in settings go to the feature. After you go to the feature, use these white touch option, and in white touch option you enable this. After you enable this, now you select the floating button settings. Now this will adjust the size and all that. Try to also adjust its transparency. Now you have gesture, and then you have animation. You can change the animation. Actually it's actually helping you to see the tutorial. Now let us come back. Now you can see that we have a button over here. Now we have to press this button, and then on the button you can see that we have some options available automatically, and that is calculator, the camera, the gesture setup. Then we have the switcher, we have the lock screen, or we can add, you can go back, we can enable the music. So these all options are available, although all options are available on the home screen itself, but still you can use this option. You can add whatever app you want in the screen, and you can just play with this. And I personally may not use this option, but if you want, if anyone wants, they can use it. It's a cool option available for the smartphone. We have already seen a tip to take quick photograph using volume buttons. Now we will see the tip to take quick photograph using the fingerprint scanner. For this you have to go to settings. After you go to settings, go to the feature like always, and in feature you have this option, fingerprint snap. Select this option, and then enable this one, and then press OK. Turn on the camera. After you turn on the camera, just double press. See, now you can also hold your finger on the fingerprint scanner. This will take the photograph easily. See, a photograph was taken again. So this is how you quickly take the photograph with two ways. But for this, camera has to be on. But for volume buttons, you don't have to turn on the camera. It will take the photograph. It will snap it at the moment you take the photo. This is most helpful when you are outside, and this is helpful when you quickly want to take a selfie or something like that. After seeing the complete portrait, is a complete scene that you want to capture, you can take the photograph after doing every necessary works. Now let's move to the next feature. and that feature is of secure zone. Then you have here two zones available. One is normal zone, one is secure zone. If you are giving your phone to any friend of yours, then it is important to have this secure phone enabled. Just press this option, press the secure zone, and then the secure zone will hide all your photographs, videos, and all that. He will only be able to see the outside of the phone, but not the important data that you have. This another tip that I'm going to give you is also very interesting. For that also you have to go to the settings. Now, before actually going to the exact location and showing you the tip, first let me explain what this tip is exactly about. So now most people actually have two SIMs, and most people have two WhatsApp profiles, but for that you don't have to use two smartphones. In one smartphone only you can use two Facebooks, two WhatsApps, two IMOs. And for that, what you have to do is you have to go to the features option. After you go to the feature option, you can use this dual app profile. In dual app profile you can use various chat options, two profiles of various chat options. You can use two WhatsApp profiles, you can use two IMOs, you can use two Facebooks, and all that. Now this is very useful application, because most of the people I know actually have two Facebook profiles, two WhatsApp profiles. They keep it one for personal, they keep one for the family, and that's their personal choice. If they want to keep it, they have two SIMs and they have two WhatsApps, and having a dual app profile actually helps with that purpose. Or you have to enable this, and to enable this you have to go to the dual apps, setup dual apps section, and you have to set up using this settings. And now the app is getting set up. Actually I am going to come out of this, and I do not want to have. Now you can have the dual app setup for anything. You can have that for games and all that. You have to manage it here on this screen. It is very easy, you can learn it when you see it. So this is very good option at your hand. Another tip, we'll see how to quickly turn on the flashlight in the smartphone. For that, what you have to do is that you have to go to settings, then feature. After you go to feature, you can see that down here we have an option called quick flashlight. Enable this quick flashlight option. Now after you enable this quick flashlight option, go back and lock your screen and press the power button. After you press the power button, long press the home button. After you long press the home button, you can see that the flashlight is on. Now if you want to turn this flashlight off, just double tap here and the flashlight has been turned off. Now there is another way, another method, another tip where you can turn the camera on quickly, and it is quick camera launch feature. So now for that also you have to go to the settings. You have to go to the feature option, and in feature option you can see this press power button twice for camera. So we have already seen the option to take photograph with the power button. Now this is the third method where you can turn the camera on very quickly. This time you do not have to go to the home screen and go to the camera app and do that all that. Just select this one and just enable this one. After this one is enabled, all you have to do is you have to press the power button twice and the camera will open. This is very simple, and this is very quickest way to, I think, to take the photograph. And this of all the features that I have shown you till now, I think the two that I'm gonna love is this one, and the one where you get to select the scene where the phone automatically volumes automatically turns the volume down and helps you with the work that you are going to do. So these were the tips and tricks for Lenovo K6 Power. I will meet you in next video another time. Until then, have a good day. Thank you very much.